Yeah, I wonder if there's any way of finding out exactly what is located on those upper floors. You'd like to just cross your fingers and pray to God that maybe there weren't a lot of people up there at that time.
State office buildings and, of course, lots of commercial office buildings on those spaces as well. I know during the last terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, my son was in the building, and he told stories of groping down through the staircases for some 50 floors before he, thank God, got out safely.
In fact, the governor has an office in the World Trade Center as well. There is one thing. After the bombing of the World Trade Center in the 90s, I do know that there were major efforts to have disaster drills, to have a preparedness plan in the event of an awful tragedy like this. But one has to wonder how, with two gigantic skyscrapers burning, the fire department and emergency services can handle both in that confined space without a tremendous
no matter how much you set in place, how much you try to prepare for, until it actually happens, it's just not the same thing.
Again, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center, where shortly before 9 o'clock this morning, and then shortly after 9 o'clock, planes apparently deliberately crashed into the buildings. Alani DeVito, are you there? Alani DeVito, are you there? I understand we have another eyewitness to this catastrophe. Lonnie DeVito, are you there? Apparently we lost Lonnie, but again...
This may be confusing to some people because in a sense it is a little confusing to me. We every now and then see what looks like, I don't know if it's the bottom of a chopper that is swinging back and forth.
That would be our...
That is ours.
That would be the rudders from our chopper every once in a while.
Hey, Jim.
Lonnie DeVito, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Lonnie. Thank you. This is Jim Ryan in the studio. Can you tell us what you heard and saw when the blast took place?
Right now, I was actually talking to my brother on the phone about what happened. I was on my roof and I saw something from where I am. I really can't see what it is. I saw something go into the other building because from where I am, I could see the World Trade Center.
Since 1993, once again, we're going to go back to the World Trade Center bombing, a car bomb at the World Trade Center, killing 6 people. The NYPD, the terrorism squad, New York City police have definitely heightened their sense of security at landmark buildings throughout the city, from the World Trade Center to the Empire State Building to the UN. All of this is definitely...
Okay, we've got Melinda now who's live for us. She's been taking these pictures. Melinda, tell us what you're looking at. Melinda, can you hear us? All right, we're going to go to Melinda in just a few minutes.
Good morning. You're looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center Tower 1 from Manhattan Lower District. As you can see, we have a very serious fire in the World Trade Center. What we understand, the information is still early in coming, but what we understand is that 2 separate planes have hit Tower 1, which is the tower that you're seeing on your picture right now. As you can see, there are flames. There is a massive fire here at this Tower 1 of the World Trade Center. It's in the upper portion of the building, probably the upper quarter of the tower. Now, of course, the problem with fighting something like this is that it is you can't do an external attack. Firefighters are going to have to go on the inside of this building to actually fight this particular fire. They're going to have to be using things like high-rise packs and standpipe packs. They're going to be setting up a command center here, and they'll be using a cascade system to refill their air bottles. Now, the air bottles only carry 30 to 45 minutes of air, so you can imagine what it's going to be like to try to attack this fire, because they're going to have to climb up this many stories to get to the actual fire, and then probably immediately have to turn around and get their air packs repacked. Now, what we understand is, again, 2 separate planes have hit this. We don't understand why at this point, but we do know that 2 planes, we're not sure what size planes they were, but we think they were substantial in size, have hit the World Trade Center. This, again, is Tower 1. We do not know exactly what happened as far as to why they have hit this, but you can see that there is a big plume of smoke which is towering into the air. I would say it goes back a couple of miles at this point, even further. You can certainly see it from almost anywhere in this area. Both towers have smoke coming out of them, so it is possible at this point that Tower 2 is also on fire. It's hard for us to tell at this vantage point. As you can well imagine, police are keeping us at a distance from this so that they can do the work they need to do. What we recommend to you people who are watching this from Lower Manhattan is to please turn off your water. Do not use any water that you do not need. Do not use your dishwasher. Do not use your washing machine. Firefighters need all the water pressure they can gather at this point. It's also a very good idea to stay out of Lower Manhattan. Firefighters and other emergency equipment are trying to make their way there right now. And as you can imagine, this has probably already been made an all-hands emergency. That basically means that everybody, even if people are off of work right now, they have been called in to battle this blaze. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, you are looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center. That is Tower 1 on your screen right now. 2 separate planes have hit the World Trade Center. We are not certain why that has happened, but it has happened. You can see the flames through the smoke there, and there is a very dark, nauseous fume coming out of that. We can almost smell it from where we are, which is several miles away at this point. You can also see the plume of smoke from many, many miles away. Now again, as we said, it's going to be very hard and very difficult to battle this blaze because it is in the upper portion of this tower. Tower 2 also has smoke coming out of it, and we again are not sure exactly what that is about. We'll again try to keep you up to date with this as we get more information, but what we do know is that 2 separate planes have hit the World Trade Centers. We do have firefighters on the scene. They are going to have to do an internal battle of this blaze. They cannot do anything from the external because it's so
with Michael Gargiulo here in our Fox 5 studio. We are monitoring the situation in New York City. We want to bring you up to date in case you are just joining us. Apparent act of terrorism in New York City. 2 different planes have hit those twin towers there of the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center, of course, the target of a bombing in 1993.
Now, the 2 towers are referred to as Tower 1 and 2. Tower 1 is the tower closest to us. This was hit first. It was hit higher up. We believe on the 90th floor. There's 110 floors. Amazingly, then, there is video that we're going to show you shortly of the second impact on Tower 2, the tower further back. That one coming lower. We're going to see that now in just a second. And here you're going to be able to see the size of the plane. Let's take a look at it. And you see it slowed there. And that's the second impact lower, we believe, perhaps in the 50th, 60th floors, a large plane. And also another development, perhaps related to where these planes came from.
That is correct. There is now a report that the FBI is investigating a plane hijacking, reports of a possible plane hijacking before these World Trade Center crashes.
Needless to say, all of New York City's 30,000 police officers, the entire fire department, virtually every emergency service person on duty in the New York City area is on their way or there now.
We also should note that this is also primary election day in New York City, where they are choosing the candidates in the mayoral election. We'll see if they suspend the voting because of this incident. Of course, again, that'd be highly unusual, and we are still awaiting word on injuries, fatalities from this incredible, horrific scene there in New York City.
The irony was that after the World Trade Center bombing, which took place back in 1993, so much effort was made to secure the garage area because that's where the
other incident took place.
And if you drove by that area there, which is right by the tunnel area, the Battery as it's known in New York City down near Wall Street, there were all these barriers, all these things set up to prevent unauthorized people from getting in. You remember they rented a Ryder truck and drove it into that garage. Now, of course, an unimaginable turn of events hitting the same very prominent target from the top. We should also point out, with regard to casualties, Lark, in February 26, 1993, that bombing that shocked all of us, 6 people were killed, more than 1,000 people were injured. We cannot hazard a guess what's going on right now.
We're going to go back to the live coverage from WNYW in New York. Let's listen in.
Type of other attack. We're not exactly sure what happened yet. We do know 2 separate planes. We feel that they are fairly substantial in size from initial reports. We do not know exactly what they were. But again, both towers are on fire. Tower 1 obviously suffering the biggest fire from what we can see at our vantage point. We are not able to move to a different point simply because the police have asked us to stay back so they can do the work that they need to do in this general area. They are setting up a general command center, or at least you would be expected for them to be able to do that, to be able to set up a general command center.